Alright, so hello everybody. I'm a little bit slow today, so bear with me. But we are today talking about the Jussie Smollett incident. Um, but before we do that, as I have been known to do in these short little 2-hour Thursday streams that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, we are going to also, yes, I have people waiting in the live stream thing, so if you would like to come on the call-in segment, definitely hop into the Discord. This will give you guys a nice grace period to get verified, hop in the Discord, and then hop in the waiting room where I will pull you in once we begin the conversation. And we will be going from start to conclusion as of right now of the entire Jussie Smollett case, where you guys can give your commentary, your picadillos, if you will, your shenanigans on the matter at hand. So before we do that, however, I want to do the thing that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, and that is shill a content creator that I'm a personal fan of. His name is Irate Prostate, and he does the cream stream, so here's a little bit of that for your fancy. His link is the third one in the description, so definitely go check him out.
Every week on Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, the Cream Stream, the weekly world news for YouTube. Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern, the ice cream interviews, fascinating people. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, hot takes with the Butter Baron, watching horrible shit so you don't have to. Subscribe to Irate Prostate now.
Alright, so that was the Cream Stream promo, so definitely check Irate Prostate out if you guys feel so inclined. He does very good interview style type streams, and they're really good. I've been on a few of them before. Anyway, so now from our panel, we hear Berserker 5150, Lion Patriot, Messiah, and the Megato Musician. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I can't complain.
I'm alive.
That's good. Can everyone hear very well? Just curious, because I know that my microphone has a tendency to be nefarious in such instances.
No,
You sound good, Weebo.
Thank you. Now, I don't know if you guys heard this, but we are going to be going over the entirety of the Jussie Smollett case, start to bittersweet end, and bittersweet meaning as in sweet for us, bitter for Jussie.
Alright.
All of the stories that I will be using are both linked in the description, as well as in the stream chat of this, of the Discord, where you can find, it's in the pinned section. The most recent one, however, that is the most, recent one that I just added today, because it happened 4 hours ago, is in the, it's been linked a little bit more recently. I think I just did it a few minutes ago. Yeah, a few minutes ago, I definitely did that. So just if you guys want to follow along, that would be where we are doing that. Let me just pull up the Hangout thing. Sorry, you guys can't see behind the scenes, but I am having a boomer moment. And I have to go all the way back to the beginning, don't I? Oh boy. Alright. Now I will share this lovely screen, and we will discuss the Jussie Smollett issue. Now, we're not going to read all of every single article that I have, because as you can see by, well, can you? No, you can't see by the amount of tabs. You can see by the amount of links that I have in the description that we have so many articles to get through, and that's because this thing has been developing rapid fire for the past 3 weeks. So we have 3 weeks of news, ha! Funny! To catch up on. Sorry. I had my energy pill this morning, so I'm a little bit high strung. Anyway. So the first one that I have is from the New York Times. The title they have is Jussie Smollett, star of Empire, attacked in what police call a possible hate crime. So, I have a few things highlighted. Attacked in Chicago early Tuesday morning by 2 people who yelled racial and homophobic slurs, wrapped a rope around his neck, according to the police, who said they were investigating the incident as a possible hate crime. If I'm going too fast, please chat, tell me, and I will definitely slow down. But like I said, I'm a little bit caffeinated today. Smollett, who is black and publicly came out as gay in 2015, because that definitely matters when we're talking about hate crimes, ladies and gentlemen, don't you forget it, was walking on a downtown street when 2 people approached a man and yelled the slurs. According to a statement from the Chicago Police Department, the attackers were then began hitting, oh, here we go, I can't read now, hitting Smollett in the face and poured an unknown chemical substance on him. One of his attackers also wrapped a rope around Smollett's neck before the duo fled. Given the severity of the allegations, we are taking this investigation very seriously and treating it as a possible hate crime, the police said. And then I think that was all that was of note in this article. Yeah. So, right there we have the initial statement of what's going on and everything, and the whole story itself is... If you know anything about the actual date this happened, it was midway through the polar vortex. He went to the hospital because of this.
Right. The article in particular was published on the 29th of January, so it's basically about a month old right now. Nothing more incriminating has come out by this point. It's just basically giving a summarization of what he claimed happened.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I see that our Nightbot in the chat is, what do you call it? Moderating pretty heavily. I didn't set it to do that. I think it's just a default thing, so I'll probably look into fixing that at some point. He's planning to perform his concert. Yes, by the way, immediately after this, he doesn't have broken ribs, he has bruised ribs as far as I'm aware, and he's planning to perform his concert scheduled Saturday at West Hollywood's Troubadour. I don't know if I said that right, but he is a musician as well. That should be of note. And then however you pronounce this last name, and I'm sorry for the X's that keep popping up. The highlighter that I use to highlight the important things when I go through stories does that whenever I just wash over whatever it is that I'm washing over. But the police correspondent, I can't pronounce his last name, I'm so sorry, I'm illiterate, had said that Smollett returned to Chicago one day earlier for work and was cooperating with investigators and helping them establish a timeline of the assault. Sidney Guerrera confirmed to USA Today that Smollett said in a follow-up interview the next day that his alleged attackers yelled that this is MAGA country. So we have direct from a sergeant of this investigation that this is something that Smollett has said, testified to, essentially, to his to the police correspondents that he's been in cahoots with. Now, if you've been on Twitter in the last 3 weeks, you'll have known that there are people speculating about whether or not he did actually say this is MAGA country. Why is this important? Well, because it's a direct attack. Knowing what we know now about it being a hoax is a direct attack on Trump supporters. MAGA, Trump supporters. I mean, I don't have to spell it out for anyone, I don't think. Right, guys?
No, I think it's pretty common knowledge by this point.
Mm-hmm. Fox, which has already suspended filming, and this is the reason why I highlighted this, because it talks about how cold the record temperatures were in Chicago on that day when this happened at 2 in the freaking a.m. Told USA Today that Empire will be shooting again on Thursday. They had suspended filming previously because of said record cold temperatures. So that's why that was important. Then we move on to the next article. And I'm just trying to get through the meat and potatoes of what's already transpired as fast as possible, because I know everyone's just suffering from a whole bunch of...
Sometimes people say things and it's just on another level, and it's kind of like, you just caught me on that day, homie.
Yeah.
Like, you just caught me on that day, because I'm not that guy that just, claps back and is looking for a fight. I'm like this.
I'm sorry. I don't know where it's happening. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Alright, there we go. Sorry. I forgot to mute that. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't know where it was coming from. Okay, they can hear you again, guys. Sorry, I had to mute the desktop audio.
Was there something going on?
Yeah, there was stuff going on. You guys can't hear it. I can hear it. I can hear everything because it's...
was it one of those video pop-up ads?
Yeah, no, it was actually the interview from Smollett. I mean, we can watch it also, but I wasn't ready to talk about it. Sorry. We're on the third article.
Oh, okay.
So, Jussie Smollett is finally speaking out after homophobic and racist attack he endured earlier this week. And while we could totally watch the video, they say the exact same thing that he says right here, down beneath, and I'm just going to read it because it'll be a lot faster if I do it. Let me start by saying that I am okay. He's okay, guys. Remember, that's a white nationalist symbol. Smollett began his statement to Essence, "My body is strong, but my soul is stronger. More importantly, I want to say thank you. The outpouring of love and support from my village has meant more than I will ever be able to truly put into words." Just looking back at this, knowing what we know now, all of this is kind of surreal and ridiculous, and it makes me want to giggle a little bit. Anyone else?
Yeah, it is always funny when they try and hype it up to be like this massive, crime against whatever minority group of the century, something that's going to finally eclipse the atrocities of the Nazis against the Jews, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, shit, man, that never happened.
Shit, that never happened, Lane.
To me, it's just funny because he had clearly couldn't make up his mind like which one he wanted to put in the story. Like, oh, they yelled racist and homophobic slurs. Like, most racists and skinheads and shit are fucking idiots who are one-track ponies. Like, they can't multitask with insulting people.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah, it's just... Sorry, were you gonna say something, Lion?
No.
Oh,
no.
Sorry, I saw your thing light up and I was like, oh shit. Because I know that not all mics are created equal. Anyway, so quote, he goes on to say, I am working with authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent on every level, despite my frustrations and deep concern with certain inaccuracies and misrepresentations that have been spread. I still believe that justice will be served. That right there, just...
Yes, it will be.
Sorry, it's just the foreshadowing.
No.
Davey Croco, if you want to join the chat, hop in the Discord and hop in the waiting room of the streaming section of the Discord. After you verified yourself, you can hop on. Anyone can hop on if they want. Just make sure you check the Discord. That's how we get shit done, people. It's the easiest way for me, at least. So he goes on to say, quote, as my family stated, these types of cowardly acts are happening to my sisters, brothers, and non-gender conforming siblings daily. I am not and should not be looked upon as an isolated incident. We will talk soon, and I will address all details of this horrific incident, but I need a moment to process, he concluded. Most importantly, during these times of trauma, grief, and pain, there is still a responsibility to lead with love. It's all I know, and that can't be kicked out of me. Smollett signed his statement by writing, with love and respect and honor, Jussie, and you can see he posted that on Instagram, which is where everyone makes their most important life statements.
Weebo, you're kind of cutting out.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I cutting out for everyone else? Hopefully not. Hang on, let me check my stream strength. It says I'm good, but it must be just Discord being a bitch.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Could just be my connection though too.
It might just be your connection. I like when it's not me being at fault. So can we not? Anyway. So yeah, if you have to make any important statement, Instagram is the place to do it. And then he goes on to say, actually from Smollett's family goes on to say, Jussie is a warrior whose light cannot be dimmed. The family's statement read in part, we want people to understand that these targeted hate crimes are happening to our sisters, brothers, and our gender... Wait, hang on. Did we already...
Yes.
No, because that was from him. This is from his family. It's basically, this is a copy-paste. Ugh, I highlighted all of this last night.
Well, nobody ever accused them of being creative.
No, of course not. He's only a musician and an actor, so... I wonder who makes his music. Brothers and our non-gender conforming siblings, many who reside within the intersection of multiple identities, as a monthly, weekly, and sometimes even daily basis. On a monthly, weekly, and sometimes even daily basis all across our country. If you guys want to say something, totally just interject. Just be like, Weebo, shut the fuck up. And I will shut up. And also, I apologize for Nightbot being so overly dramatic with his moderation. We're experimenting with new technology today on the Weebo Jones channel, and sometimes side effects can occur. I don't make the rules. I just try to wiggle around them. Your bot needs to be bopped? Yeah, alright, I can do that. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna do that right quick. You guys talk for a hot second about anything.
I just don't understand how the fucking musician, especially somebody who sings, is gonna perform with bruised ribs. I've had bruised ribs. Breathing fucking...
Yeah, can confirm. I once got into a snowboarding accident and I had bruised my ribs on a nice... it was the last day of snowboarding on the trip and it was a fucking shitfest. I did not enjoy it. See, the only reason I'm using Nightbot, people, is because I'd like it to be able to spam my links in the chat, maybe not moderate, so... Alright, I'll figure it out later. But right now, I'm so sorry.
I've done my ribs twice.
Huh?
I've done my ribs twice. Once playing football, once playing basketball. When I did it in basketball, it was a lot worse. I bruised all the ribs on the left side, and it was just fucking...
It was bad. I totally get you, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was a red flag to begin with.
Yeah, I bruised my ribs, but I can also play. You're gonna be in a lot of pain, bitch. So their statement goes on to conclude, make no mistake, words matter, hateful words lead to hateful actions, radical love is the only solution, but passive, radical love, everybody, it's the only solution. It is the final solution. No, there's no call-in line, unfortunately, but there is the Discord. The Discord is kind of how I get everyone on at the same time in order to have that conversation, and they can hear me, and I can hear them, and it's a good time, and usually it works. It's pretty good about doing that. We, as a family, will continue to work for love, equality, justice until it reigns supreme in our nation and all over the world. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the AP, who on February 3rd reported, I keep getting notified about subscriptions, so I don't know if it's... Yeah, no, if it's a donation, it'll do the sexy oh yeah moan. Alright, Davy Crocco, you are live, and also muted, so whenever you get the chance, sir, unmute yourself. Anyway, so... Sorry. Continuing on with the Jussie Smollett issue, AP reports... The AP reports... Jussie Smollett strikes emotional chord attackers won't win. Jussie Smollett was blunt, emotional, and definitely determined Saturday night. At a Southern California concert, some urged him not to play. Remember, kids, he is playing with bruised ribs. So, did they ever get a medical report, I wonder? I don't recall seeing anything about that, but it just reported that he was.
No, I don't think anything was ever received.
Davey or Lion, one of you two is, and my voice is disconnecting, but one of you two is trying to talk. You might want to turn up your mic a little bit more. Oh, no, that's me. I can hear myself. Mute the stream, Davey.
I got you.
Alright. So the article goes on to say the most important thing I can think is thank you so much and I'm okay, said the Empire actor and R&B singer from the stage at Troubadour in West Hollywood in his first public appearance since he reported to the police in Chicago on Tuesday that to Matt Yan, we already know what's going on. I'm not fully healed yet, said Smollett, who is black and openly gay, by the way. That's important. But I'm going to be, and I'm going to stand with y'all.
He's actually half Russian Jew, too.
He's actually half Russian Jew. Well, I did not know that. I had to be there tonight. Y'all, well, of course, we don't care about the Russian Jew part because it's the black gay part that we all care about so much.
That's most important.
It's most important. I had to be here tonight, y'all. I couldn't let those expletives win. I'm assuming he said fuckers, but I don't know. I will always stand for love. I will only stand for love, except for when I'm framing people who are completely innocent for a hate crime. He said he was bruised, but his ribs were not cracked. He went straight to the doctor, but was not hospitalized, and physicians in both Chicago and Los Angeles cleared him to play, but told him to be careful. He said that, by the way. No doctor came out and said, yes, this is the case, but of course he has patient-doctor confidentiality, so if they wanted to say anything, they really couldn't. Above all, I fought the expletive back. I'm the gay Tupac, he said, which I thought was funny, so I highlighted that. But really, the rest of the article doesn't really say very much else. Again, if you would like to look at any of these articles, I have them linked in the description. They're also in the stream chat, pinned message, the very first one, the only one, I think, actually. So definitely go ahead and check that out.
I always thought Tupac was the gay Tupac, but...
Was Tupac gay? I don't know that much about Tupac, to be quite frank.
No, he was not.
Nah, he's about as straight can possibly fucking get.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I'm gonna put on the nice tavern music, because I like the tavern music, and if anyone has any song requests, we have tavern, we have sad, we have suspense, we have fight, we have enemy, we have chill, we have more fight, and we have intro. So, sorry, we have music suggestions. So this next article is from the New York Post. It's a couple days later, February 11th. Jussie Smollett's neighbors cast doubt on his attack story. So it wasn't until then that people started actually being like, curious. So, nearly 2 weeks after the Empire star Jussie Smollett claimed he was the victim of a racist homophobic attack, cops have yet to identify any suspects, and some people in his Tony, Chicago neighborhood are growing skeptical. I don't believe it happened the way he said it did, said again Agent Muhammad, who lives in the same swank high-rise near the Navy Pier as Smollett. God, that was such a... Oh, now we got a nice... Hang on, we got a lovely pop-up. Give me a hot second. Fix that. I don't know why that's happening. Let me just reload. Sorry. So, that was a very pretentious sentence. Anyone else think that? High-rise...
Yeah, a high rise near the Navy Pier. It's trying to make it sound luxurious, but it's still fucking Chicago.
I think they're just making the point that, like, Chicago and the media people think Chirac, but he lives in the rich part of Chicago.
Yeah.
I think that's also what they were going for, because, you know, he's black, therefore they wanted to make it sound more urban, so it's like, oh, even more hate.
Yeah, he literally lives right on the water. There's multi-million-dollar properties. His neighbors were like, nothing like this would ever happen there.
I mean, and think of it logically, no fucking racist is gonna go to the south side of Chicago on some bullshit. Like, that's just not gonna happen. You get your ass.
Okay, hang on. This pop-up keeps popping up, so I don't know how to fix it.
I mean, he's officially charged now, so I mean, it's
yeah, we're gonna get to that, I promise. But right now, we're taking it through all of the stories from point A to point B. I can't do anything about the pop-up, people. I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix it. You're just gonna have to grin and bear it.
What pop-up are you getting?
Huh? It's the morning report. Get our stories delivered to your inbox every morning. Fuck off.
Do you have ad block turned on?
I do. It is what it is.
I was gonna say, because I'm not getting it.
I don't even... It only appears when I get down to... We can still read the article, it's fine. It's just annoying as fuck. Anyway. Yes, we already mentioned that it was cold out that day. My dad actually told me all about it. He's like, it's the fucking coldest... He didn't say it like that, because he's a little bit more of a gentleman than I am. But he was like, it's so cold outside. I hate it. Stuff like that. Will, I saw you in the stream chat. I was about to let you in. Come back.
Yeah, I know that was right in the middle of the polar vortex.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I mean, there's a...
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, say, there's a black dude on Twitter. His first name's Terrence. He makes a lot of funny reaction videos. Like, in his video reacting to the story in the interview, he was basically just like, now, I know white people love them some cold weather, but not even they would be out at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, unless
even we do not like cold weather very much.
Unless they're from, like, Iceland or some shit, like, ain't nobody about to be out at that fucking early in the morning, that goddamn cold. Yeah, it's a motherfucker.
The UFO answer, thank you for the $2 over on Streamlabs. Wasn't Jussie also a Vietnam vet and a tribal elder? # free Jussie. No, that was the other fake hate crime perpetrator that we're thinking of, Nathan Phillips, from a few weeks, or like a week prior, I think. Anyway, so I'm gonna continue on. I've been in this neighborhood 5 years. I don't believe it. Not around here. Half the people are gay and the other half are black. That's another thing too. Don't do hate crimey type stuff in the middle of, you know, the most liberal place all around. Anyway.
Well, don't do it in an area where there's a high concentration of the very same people that you are committing a hate crime against, who will probably jump up and say, hey, yo, shank this cracker's ass.
I mean, like, if it was like he got attacked in, like, Iowa or, like, Mississippi, I'd be like, alright, cool, I'll field the ball. But, like, Chicago, go fuck yourself. Like, it'd be less... Like, if you said Detroit or, oh, I was attacked in Harlem, that's, like, the only places you could go, yeah, no, that's complete bull.
Hang on. I'm still trying to fix the thing with the stuff. But, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll live with the pop-up, even though it's killing me on the inside. I want to get through the rest of this article. It's a lie because Chicago's the most liberal city around, said the man who wouldn't give his name. They have cameras everywhere. Why can't they find the attack? Chicago police said Sunday that Smollett had yet to turn over data from his cell phone. This is the important part of the article that I highlighted because it's important. He had yet to turn over data from his cell phone to verify that he was on the phone with his music manager at the time, Brandon Moore, when he was allegedly attacked. Moore had said that he heard Smollett's assailants shout a racial slur in the words MAGA country, an apparent reference to President Trump. Yeah, okay, we get it. We've not been living under a rock. Also, White Lightning, I am bringing you on the air. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hello. All right. We have no reason to doubt the statements, but for a criminal investigation, we need to independently confirm the phone records. No shit, Sherlock. Of course you do. I'm not being aggressive to the police spokesman. I'm just saying, Jussie, if you want people to believe you a little bit better, more readily, don't cock block the investigation, okay? It seems counterproductive to me, at least. We offered to take the phone to download the data, and he expressed he couldn't be without his phone for several hours. Then you, sir, have one, either a problem with your technology, or you're hiding something. Can anyone guess what it was? Is it option A or option B?
He was probably hiding all of his porn.
Yeah.
I would like to ask a very valid question.
Yes.
What fucking musician or famous person has only one phone?
I only have one phone. Most normal people. He's not that famous.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not
But if
so
you're-
famous.
Yeah, no, seriously. I've never heard of this guy before this actually happened, so...
Neither have I, but my point is, even if you're constantly fielding calls from managers and from co-workers, potential casting directors, you would keep that separate from your personal phone. Therefore, you're not gonna fuck some shit up by like thinking, in his case, his Nigerian daddies are calling him and be like, "Oh, hi, daddies," when it's a fucking casting director. No, you'd have two separate phones.
I think he was trying to redact the phone calls between him and the two brothers.
Probably. That's most likely what it was exactly that went down, and the reason why he didn't want to hand over his phone. Will, I am bringing you on. Hopefully you have the stream muted at this point. Hi, Will. Alright. Next article is from Fox News. This is from the next day. Jussie Smollett's defended by crisis manager as Chicago police say phone records are insufficient. So finally they get the phone records, and for some reason my highlighter did not work for this. So now I have to read it all, or most of it. Smollett, who's a black... Okay, we don't care about his ethnicity or his sexual... whatever.
Oh, good lord.
Jussie is the victim here, which has... Sorry?
Oh. I was just about to say, that's how every one of these articles has started so far.
Jussie Smollett, the black gay singer on Empire. Yes, and I think we all know who he is pretty well.
Yeah, you know, I sometimes wonder if he's gay.
You know, he might be.
I mean,
I couldn't tell you.
It is pretty funny that a lot of like black supremacists who are normally don't count light-skinned dudes as being black are counting Jesse or Jussie as black just to like be like, oh, there's a hate crime.
Well, not anymore.
Well, at the time, yes.
They also don't particularly care too much for gay members of their own community, but they're promoting him now.
Well,
Oh yeah.
not so much anymore, but prior to this all coming out as a hoax, then yes.
Oh, well, yeah.
The fact that he's got a crisis manager says a lot too, especially around February 12th. Jussie is the victim here, which has been stated by the superintendent of police. Jussie has voluntarily provided his phone records from within an hour of the attack and given multiple statements to police. Chicago PD has repeatedly informed us that they find Jussie's account of what happened that night consistent and credible. Superintendent Johnson has been clear from day one that Jussie is a victim. We are continuing to work closely with the Chicago PD and remain confident that they will find Jussie's attackers and bring them to justice. A neighbor claimed to have seen a redneck with a rope, but Chicago police were unable to find video surveillance from the area to support this. Description of the redneck did not match Smollett's description of his attackers. Oof. Oof. MAGA. Oof.
How do you find a redneck in Chicago? What the?
They're not that hard to find. Okay, so if you guys want to go to the ABC News article, Jussie Smollett heartbroken over criticisms after attack, they have the interview between Jussie and the one bitch, the ABC interview, the one where he's...
Wait, is that the one that begins with Jussie Smollett is a black gay actor from Chicago?
Yes. Robin.
So I had to look up the date just so I can reinforce my point of where do you find a redneck in Chicago. So that would be early Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Most rednecks, or at least me being from the South, most of us down here would be in bed asleep because they're about to get up for work in 2 fucking...
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Even a lot of MAGA supporters who we all know have probably have some sort of job that they have to go to in the morning. For instance, my father wakes up at, I believe, 4 in the morning every single morning so he can get into work by 6 so that he can leave the office by 3 so he can be home and doing more work at home by 4. So
It sounds like a pain in the ass.
yeah, but this is a video, so you are going to be having to watch along with me if that's not too much trouble, and I will give you guys enough time to actually open up the video.
You got a rabbit link?
I don't have a rabbit link, and it didn't work the last time, but I can put the link in the chat again. This is the link to the actual video. We're just going to have to Ralph retort this shit, you know how they, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Oh, you know what? Don't they have quotes from the article in here?
From the interview, you mean?
I mean, the interview, yeah. Pretty sure.
A few, yeah. They kind of give you like a basic summary of it.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to watch it too.
I mean, we can watch it. It's just that we're probably going to be a little bit behind or
yeah, that's fine.
A few seconds ahead.
We'll watch it in like 30-second increments or whatever. Or I'll tell you when to stop.
Okay.
We'll sync this up. This is chaos, Richard Art. Thank you. It is chaos, but it's the best kind of chaos because it's informative.
Alright, just let us know when you want us to hit play.
Alright, are you guys all ready? You got it geared up.
Yep.
I do. Yes.
Alright. Ready? Play.
Answering questions about his story for the first time.
He really is, George, and the incident has sparked both an outpouring of support as well as questions about what happened that night on a cold Chicago street. Jussie was very passionate in his account, detailing the racist and homophobic words he says his attackers used, words that we cannot broadcast. Here's the first part of Jussie telling his story.
I'm pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry?
Pause at 30. Alright. Sorry, I gave you guys a few seconds of leeway. So, you can also actually see just right off the bat that he is tearing up a little bit. I just wanted to point that out.
I'm just a black gay man from Chicago.
I just want people to believe me. Why won't they believe me? Because your story, sir, is extraordinary, especially with what we know about hate crimes. By the way, this is an article from February the 14th, so Valentine's Day. Anyway. I'm gonna play it. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
The attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? Yeah. It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
All right, stop at 103. Thank you, Davey Crocco, for the $2 over on... thank you, Davey. Over on the Super Chats. Give you shout out on my next, my channel. Last 2 streams trended. Oh, wow. Thanks so much. Yeah, okay, so that was what was registering in that year. And by the way, the moaning sound, guys, that's when people donate money to me. I set it up like that intentionally. Thank you very much. So anyone have any comments about what we've just heard so far?
Not.
I couldn't hear the audio on that.
Oh no, you're watching along. I can't.
Well, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I can't divert audio through my microphone through what's going on the desktop to the people in the live hangout. I can only do it to the YouTube channel. So we're right now at 102.
It's cool. I've watched this front and back, but I was just like,
sorry.
Yeah, basically we were just at the part where he says they don't want, well, yes, that too, but they don't want to see the truth. It's not that they don't acknowledge the quote-unquote truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
No, you can't handle the truth, obviously.
And the truth is that he is black and gay.
The truth will set you free. I'm just kidding. That was a bad joke. That was a very bad joke. Scratch that from the records. It wasn't even worth the laughter that I gave it. Alright, so starting at 102, the link to the video, I have literally just posted it. It's the ABC article. It's in the stream chat, and if you would like to follow along and you're on the live stream chat, that is where it is. So I'm going to play it at 102. Ready? Go.
What happened that night, Jussie?
When I landed in Chicago, and Frank Gatson, who's like my uncle, and he's also my creative director, and he picked me up. And then we got back to the apartment. There was no food. And so I went out to Walgreens thinking that they were 24 hours and to have a smoke.
Pause at 123. So he went to Walgreens for food. I mean...
well, I mean, in his defense, I sometimes do that too.
To Walgreens, though?
Yes, it's actually the closest thing to my house.
One of my favorite parts about this is how he talks normal about Walgreens, but when he gets in the subway, he gets really blackety black about it.
Well, I'll have to see what that is, because I think this is my first time actually watching it, so this is a very natural reaction that you guys are seeing on the screen.
His voice changes from normal proper to I'm a thug that's going to Subway.
Well, we'll make that judgment when we get there. But I don't know, the Walgreens thing strikes me as odd because it's Walgreens. It's not the first place that I think of when I think of, oh, it's 2 in the morning, I need food.
Oh, and you could just get Uber Eats when you're a rich celebrity.
Not even just Uber Eats. There are a whole bunch of places that deliver that time, especially in the city of all places. Like you don't even have to go out. You can just get it to you too. Anyway, 123. We're starting it up again. All right.
Well, wait a second. If it was in the middle of the portal God damn it, the polar vortex. They might have actually canceled delivery for that night, though. If you think about it.
That's fair. I guess I'd have to check. I don't know. Do they cancel? Does anyone in the chat know if they cancel food deliveries when it's that cold outside in the middle of Chicago? Because I feel like they wouldn't. But
was public transportation running?
I don't know. I wasn't in the city at the time. I go to school in another state.
It depends on if it's snowing.
All right. Anyway, and we're gonna start up the video at 123. Everyone, 123.
Greens was closed. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm gonna run to Subway, which was across the street, and I'm gonna get a salad. Do you want anything? I went to the Subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia because he was on an Australian tour with one of his other clients. And I said, yo, call me when you can. He called me immediately. And while he was on the phone, I heard, as I was crossing the intersection, I heard Empire.
All right, pause 153. He said he was gonna go get a salad, and apparently he got a sandwich. I just want to point that out. That's bullshit.
That checkmate, atheists.
I win. Case closed. But the other thing also is the level of detail he goes into. And I know we say this a lot, or a lot of people have said this before, but I will reiterate it. If you give more detail than necessary, odds are you're trying to convince someone of a bullshit lie.
Or convince yourself at the same time.
That too. The other thing too. Sorry.
He brings up his manager. Brings him up, but is he like saying anything about him later?
You're cutting in and out, but I think you said something about he brings up his manager and then he doesn't. Does he say something about him later?
I heard ladle.
Label.
He was talking about his manager for no reason.
Well, he's trying to establish that there was a witness to the actual MAGA issue and the hate speech and the what have you, while he was on the phone.
Oh, so he was on the phone with him.
He was on the phone with him when the attack went down, allegedly. And I say allegedly because allegedly. Okay, 153, everybody. 153. We're going to start back up right there. Ready? Go.
I don't answer to Empire. My name ain't Empire. And I didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "Did you just say to me?" And I see the attacker, masked, and...
Did he just say, hang on, pause, 213. Did he just say the attacker, as in singular?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he said the masked attacker. They would have had to have planned this ahead of time. They would have had to have had a face mask ready at hand for when they accidentally bumped into somebody they saw on television to assault him.
Well,
not only that,
they already had rope and bleach. It was like -20 or something.
Well, not only that, but reportedly, wasn't it 2 people that he was attacked by, not a
Yeah.
singular attacker?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
being a person that's been prone to and lived in an area that was prone to thuggery, you don't just fucking walk around with bleach or rope and a fucking balaclava. It's just not. If you're gonna spawn at the moment, go fuck with somebody. You do it barefaced.
You do it barefaced. You do it without apparatuses with which to assault somebody. I mean, who the fuck carries around? I think it was clothesline. Yeah, clothesline and a bottle of bleach in a polar vortex at 2 in the. Just yeah. Okay, we've already established that. Carrying on.
Maybe it was that Subway employee. He was disgruntled because he said that he wanted a salad at first, but then he changed his order to a sandwich.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a fucking serial killer who decided to beat up some gay dude on the street.
He was just looking for a footline.
Yeah. So 213, everybody. We're starting back up at 213.
He said, "This MAGA country punches me right in the face." So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. Fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. And...
Okay, 235. So now he finally mentions that there was a second person from behind kicking him in his back. He should be used to this at this point. Let's be honest, he is gay. After all, they keep reminding us of that fact, everyone. Sorry.
That was subpar delivery.
That doesn't. I mean, I know it's the
Hodge twins joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm supposed to be the one who makes the really cringy bad jokes around here.
Hey.
And even Robin Roberts, who's giving this guy every lifeline, like this is the ritual that they have to do, still can't help him with his lie.
Well, you think that he'd have it rehearsed a little bit better than this, because let's be honest, this is subpar delivery.
He's just not a good actor.
The performance itself is not very convincing. I'm ashamed for somebody whose profession is.
Would not nominate for an Emmy.
Yeah,
right? That's the TV show one, right?
All 5 of his siblings are in this business too.
Oh boy.
Like, I would fucking believe Gary Busey telling me the story before this guy.
Yeah. Okay. We need to get through this because we have a few more articles to get through before we actually begin the discussion of hate crime hoaxes. So starting back up at 235. 235, everybody.
Then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, "Brandon." And he's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I was just jumped." And then I look down and I see that there's a rope around my neck.
Pause 258. He said there had been a phone in my pocket, but it had fallen out. Wasn't he on the phone? So.
Yeah, suppose. I don't understand how you can be on the phone with your manager if your phone is in your pockets.
I mean, unless he was on the phone with a pair of headbuds, which makes sense because it's a polar vortex, but at the same time, the other thing was they just stopped attacking him for whatever reason. It's not like he was putting up much of a fight. He was on the ground getting kicked in the back. And he was losing. He was losing.
I mean, at that point, you've already assaulted somebody. Most people would then go for what's in their pocket.
Exactly. All right.
Especially if it's somebody you recognize from TV, because there's like this facade that TV actors are like as rich as fucking movie actors, which is not at all remotely true.
Yeah, they probably should have tried to, I mean, even if he had like a weapon or something, if I was attacking somebody, I would want to be like searching for like a knife or something that they might have, and try and get that away from them so that they can't defend themselves.
Well, that's assuming that, the fact that when you're attacking somebody, you think that, oh, they might have a knife in their hand. Anyway, we're trying to put ourselves in the perspective of people who were paid to beat someone up.
This is Chicago. What do you mean? You're not allowed to have a knife.
But this is the nice
because you're not allowed to have it. Obviously, they don't have it, right?
No, of course not.
How it works?
That's totally how it works. 258, everybody. 258. We gotta get through this video. Oh my god.
Which I hadn't.
You hadn't noticed it before?
No,
you didn't
because
see?
It was so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was so fast.
How long did this all?
It felt like minutes, but it probably was like 30 seconds. Honestly, I can't tell you honestly. I noticed the rope around my neck, and I started screaming. And I said, "There's a rope around my neck."
Did you get any kind of description of the attacker?
I gave a body description, and I, because I saw this, right here or whatever, but I didn't see, I can't tell you what color their eyes were. I can't tell you, and I did not see anything except the second person I saw running away. And the first person, I saw his stature. I gave the description as best as I could. You have to understand also that it's Chicago in winter. People can wear ski masks and nobody's gonna question that.
Pause. 353. So he acknowledges that it's fucking cold outside and that he couldn't see anyone, and he gave a body description, and now I'm just recapping everything. Anyone got anything interesting to say? Because now I'm just getting bored.
The whole ski mask thing, how he says that that's supposedly like really natural for people to do outside. I kind of think that by this point, ski masks just have such a bad reputation about them that a lot of people tend to stray away from wearing them unless they are like actually skiing. Especially
even then, they'll just wear a balaclava.
Yeah, especially when they're walking around at night at like 2 a.m. outside of, I assume that there's like some businesses outside or something that they would be walking past. People will be shitting their pants.
Yeah.
Plan was that he wanted them to be fully covered so the camera could catch them on tape beating him up, and they couldn't catch the skin color, so he could still say they were white.
Yeah, I mean, and
they caught the two Nigerians buying the ski mask on footage at the gas station. So
I've grew up in Section 8 housing. I have friends who are in prison for sketchy, shady shit. They always wore balaclavas because a ski mask, you can fuck up when you put it on in a hurry, and you can catch part of the facial features, which can identify a person. Balaclava, once you put it on, the motherfucker's on.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of people wearing face masks necessarily. More so scarves, maybe a pair of sunglasses, and definitely a cap, but nothing,
I mean, you can pull...
Not sunglasses at the middle of the night, of course, but...
he wears his sunglasses at night, so he can't see his dreams during the day.
Exactly. Okay, 353, everybody. 353. We're almost done with this. We got a minute.
The police have gone through a lot of video, and they were able to capture an image of two people of interest. Have you seen that image, and do you believe that they could possibly be the attackers?
I do.
What is it about their size, or why do you feel that they could possibly be?
Because I was there. For me, when that was released, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them. Never did.
That's the first time he's
Okay,
given
so
a detailed account.
28, that's the end of that video, and I'm going to move on to the next article because that was all that I really cared about getting on there. Robin Hood, you are just about to be pulled on. Hi, Robin. How are you?
And I am just about to pop out. I just wanted to say thanks for letting me in, and I'll give you a shout out on my channel if you ever want to come by. We can have a chat. And it was
totally
nice, and it was nice meeting everybody here. And I hope you guys all have a great day.
Thank you for hopping on, Davey.
All right, have a good day, guys.
All right, so moving on to the next article, Chicago Police Fox dispute reports about Smollett attack. Detectives were questioned two persons of interest who were captured on surveillance camera in the area of downtown Chicago where Smollett said he was attacked last month. The two men aren't considered suspects, but may have been in the area when Smollett says he was attacked. Producers of the television drama also dispute the media reports of Smollett's character. That Smollett's character, Jamal Layan, was being written off the show, calling the idea patently ridiculous. Smollett remains a core player on this very successful series, and we continue to stand behind him. So the reason I included that in the highlights is because it speaks to motive in a sense, and at least Jussie's motive, which we will be getting to also, because that was something that was just released today, as far as I'm aware. I skimmed through the article that we are going to be addressing at the end of this long stream of shenanigans. Never fear. Never fear. Carrying on, two men arrested. This is yeah, okay. This was February 15th. Two men arrested in Jussie Smollett case are released due to new evidence, police say. No charges were filed against the men, and detectives have additional investigative work to complete, a police spokesman said. Due to new evidence as a result of today's interrogations, the individuals questioned by police in the Empire's case have been released without charges, and detectives have additional investigative work to complete. Now, yes, the two men who are brothers are believed to be the men in the still image released earlier by police. The image was taken from surveillance video on the night of the attack, and we saw those two images when we were watching the interview. Men were picked up by officers at Chicago O'Hare International Airport on Wednesday after they returned from the... Sorry, we have to take a brain break. I need to wait for my mouth to catch up with my face.
Brain break. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Robin.
What's going on?
Not much. We're just streaming right now.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So back to the article. Men were picked up by officers at Chicago O'Hare International Airport on Wednesday after returning to the city from their native country of Nigeria. On Thursday, police served a search warrant at their home. At least one of the men has worked on Empire, the show Smollett stars in. Jesus Christ, I cannot for the life of me pronounce that last name.
Oh, yeah.
Smollett?
No, it's the police spokesperson's name. Thank you, the UFO answer for the $2 over on Streamlabs. Why does Trump sell red MAGA ski masks? Why doesn't Trump sell red MAGA ski masks and baklavas? Missed opportunity there for you, Trump. You know what? That'd probably not give him much better image, but it would be hilarious all the same.
Okay, I would buy one. I'd be honest. I don't even support the dude, and I would fucking buy.
Anyone else would buy MAGA ski gear?
I mean,
I'd
if
buy
I
it
ever
for
wanted
my
to go to
dad.
a convenience store and if I wanted the whole place to clear out, I just pull that out of my pocket.
Yeah. So moving on to the next article, which is from February 17th. So we're catching up with today's news. Chicago police investigating whether Empire actor Jussie Smollett paid brothers to stage attack. So now the entire narrative has switched itself completely around. And for some reason, none of my highlights have taken. Jesus fuck. You know, I don't understand. Why is it that I go through articles when all of a sudden the highlights that I highlight just they don't stay for whatever reason. Yeah. I go through all this trouble. I'm just kidding. Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent posts that the perpetrators are individuals he is familiar with. He has been further victimized by claims attributed to these alleged perpetrators. Perpetrators. Did I just say that out loud?
Perpetuitas.
I'm so sorry.
I did saw a putty tat.
Stop it!
Putty tat.
Well, it's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. Quote, he has been further victimized by claims attributed to these alleged perpetrators that Jussie played a role in his own attack. Nothing is further from the truth. So that is from one of his attorneys, and as you can see, he has lawyered up because of this is being a thing. So we go from crisis manager to lawyers.
Yikes.
What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen?
It means that he is a black and gay individual.
Oh. Okay.
Insightful. How very insightful of you. I'm gonna get crippling depression in here because we always need some more of that. Hello, crippling depression. How are you today?
Pretty good, you?
Oh, just peachy. How is the chat, by the way? I haven't asked the chat how they're doing.
I'm vastly confused this whole situation because I thought cops hated black people and like they shot them for being black and shit. But like homeboy didn't get shot, he ain't been beaten, they've been incredibly fucking helpful with him.
Well, that's because he's one of the good ones.
Totally.
He was already beaten. What are they going to do to him?
I see people telling me that my mic is a little bit low, so I'm going to turn it up. And thank you, Jacob Jet, for the $2 over on the super chats. Perpetrators. Yes, we get it. I fucked up with the English language. Thanks so much.
Suffering succotash.
Okay, you know what? It's
Something...
only funny once.
Something I do every 3 words. It's okay.
So more from Jussie Smollett's lawyers. Jussie Smollett had no role in his own attack, lawyers say, and this one did get highlighted. Thank fucking fuck. Did I just? Okay. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Quotes from his lawyers. Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals. Yeah, we already read that. Oh, that's why I had it highlighted. One of the brothers is... Oh, that's... Okay. This is why I highlighted it. One of the brothers in Smollett's... is Smollett's personal trainer, and the lawyers... I can never do the news.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gustavo Cortez, for the $10. I barely found out about this story today. Was his Subway sandwich completely intact after the attack, Jaja? Yes, I believe it was. He couldn't bring himself to drop the Subway sandwich, so he didn't. Even when he was down for the count.
And he left the rope on his neck for quite a while.
No. The rope was around his neck because he's not going to need it for a soap.
The sandwich was meant to be a salad, but it turned into a sandwich after the attack because it's easier to hold on to a sandwich than a salad. And I'm having trouble differentiating between those words in my mouth and talking at the same pace that I am right now. So
I thought it was just because his salad's already been tossed.
Okay, get out. I'm just kidding. Stay. It's fine.
Really, I thought the soap joke was going to get me kicked out, but didn't get a reaction.
No. Well, so, okay, the last thing that I wanted to approach about this article was, quote, one of the brothers in Smollett's personal trainer. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time today with that. The lawyer said it was impossible to believe that this person could have played a role in a crime against Jussie or would falsely claim Jussie's complicity. Oof, it's impossible. Is it? It's 2 against 1. I think we have the numbers, sir. So this article is from Monday, February 18th, and like I said, we are catching up pretty quickly to today's news, which is important, and we're going to be releasing it. Wow, this has taken an entire hour to recap. I am so sorry. CNN reported police sources, new evidence suggests Jussie Smollett orchestrated attack. 2 law enforcement sources with knowledge of the investigation tell CNN that Chicago police believe actor Jussie Smollett paid 2 men to orchestrate an assault on him that he reported late last month. Smollett denies playing a role in his attack, according to a statement from his attorneys. The 2 men are now cooperating fully with law enforcement, and there are records that show the 2 brothers purchased the rope found around Smollett's neck at a hardware store in Chicago. As a victim of a hate crime who's cooperated, so these are statements from Smollett's attorneys, by the way, just so we're clear, because I didn't actually state that was what was going on. So, quote, as a victim of a hate crime who has cooperated with the police investigation, Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are Wait, we already read that. Fuck me! Did I mention that I highlighted all of these late last night?
So, I have a question.
Yes.
Was it determined to be a hate crime because of the MAGA hat?
I believe it was the racial and homophobic slurs that were alleged to have been...
Okay. Okay.
Because they called him bad words. It's a hate crime.
F-word hard T, N-word hard R.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because 2 African-American attackers, it's like...
I mean, if they were white, they wouldn't have their N-word pass, so therefore they couldn't have been white. Aha, checkmate atheists.
Is it still a hate crime if you are also the ethnicity that you're attacking?
I thought they were just African. I didn't know they were African American.
No, they're Nigerian.
Oh yeah, they're Nigerian.
Okay, so doesn't Jussie know you're not supposed to pay the Nigerian prince?
Funny. So at the present time, Jussie and attorneys have no inclination to respond to unnamed sources inside of the investigation, but will continue discussion through official channels, the statement read. So he's doubling down, but he's also not talking to anybody. That's what
feeling guilty.
He's feeling guilty. So this is from February 19th, 2019. Jussie Smollett was involved in creating racist letter which later led to attack, sources say. And where is the thing with the stuff? Where did I highlight the thing with the stuff? And it didn't take. Because of course it didn't. Gosh diddly darn. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to highlight, and of course, can you go away, pop up, please, and thank you. Okay. This looked a lot better last night when the screen was expanded a little bit, but what are you gonna do? So if you guys can't see it, but the screen can see it. Whoa. Hello.
I'm pretty sure the screen can see what's on the screen.
Oh, you're funny. Hilarious.
I think she meant stream.
I know she did.
All around me are familiar faces.
Deep breaths, Weeb. Deep breaths.
Sorry, let's get back on track. So this is the hate letter, and this is.
It looks like a kindergartner drew it.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, okay, guys, if you were going to make a hate letter, is this the kind of quality hatred you would want to send anyone's way, or would you want to put extra effort into that? If you go through all of the effort,
am I being serious or?
I'd make
I
that
were
shit
to-
calligraphy.
If I were to make a hate letter, I would just download like poll like shit posts and just paste it all over it, you know? That's what I'd do.
I would write that shit like I'm Herman Goering writing a fucking propaganda radio newscast.
I would have filled a glitter bomb with ricin, to be honest.
I would have just sent him fucking fried chicken and watermelon.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean,
Well, he would like that though.
It's funny to me how like they put in the crushed up Tylenol.
Yeah, it contained white powder, according to reports received January 22nd. So this was like almost a week before everything was going down that we're now talking about. The letter prompted a hazmat response. CPD says the white substance was later determined as aspirin. I mean, if you're gonna be, yeah, is like a baby aspirin or something. But if you're gonna be hateful, wouldn't you go through the effort of actually sending something dangerous though?
Yeah, I would put something harmful.
So why was?
I mean, he didn't want to send himself anthrax, you know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they wanted to make it seem like it was anthrax or something like that.
Yeah.
Or fentanyl.
I mean, but if you're gonna fake a hate crime, go all the way and actually commit the hate crime, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, none of this lackluster, half-assed hate criming around.
Yeah, and
if I wanted to just stop since I would have just mailed myself cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is Chicago. It's not like that shit's hard to get.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Chicago, I was on stream when you guys were talking about this, about him potentially having a weapon.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean, I don't want to like stereotype, but it's Chicago, right? Would you assault anybody randomly in Chicago?
Oh God, no.
They probably have a gun, you know?
Not me myself, no.
No, they at least have a knife on them.
Yeah, at least. And it's like two unarmed men approach.
Once again, I'm gonna say, all those you can't have in Chicago. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
You're not allowed that.
You're not allowed to have it, so it's impossible.
Chicago PD's arrested fucking 10-year-olds in class, had fucking 38 revolvers on them. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah. And you're thinking that a fully grown man in Chicago can't have like a gun or a knife on him? Like that's just
That's why he specifically said they clearly knew me from TV. Because if he's just some random black dude getting jumped in Chicago, everybody's gonna call.
Yeah. Another thing though is like I saw a comment on another video saying anybody who wears a MAGA hat religiously doesn't know who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't watch Empire.
Probably not. I mean, who here has actually seen an episode of Empire? One
Not
in
me.
chat if you have, two in chat if you have not. Anyone on the panel has seen Empire? Anyone?
Isn't
No, I don't watch TV.
To be
Isn't
honest,
that the
I
TV
don't
show?
even know what's going on.
I think it's the TV show with the black dude and the black chick from like the fucking movie that was set in Memphis about dude being a pimp.
Oh wait, wasn't he that one black gay actor?
Shut the
No, I'm talking about a completely different
Shut
dude.
None of your nonsense here, sir.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I
I
have
don't
been
even.
providing
I'm just
nothing
here
but
to be here.
nonsense.
Okay, so that brings us to news from last night and today. So we're going to take a little bit more time on these. And the Chicago Tribune reported yesterday, in little more than 3 weeks, Empire actor Jussie Smollett goes from victim to accused liar. And of course, because this is Chicago Tribune, none of my highlights took for whatever reason. That's fine. It's okay. Let's see. Jussie 36, or fuck me, Smollett 36 was charged Wednesday evening with disorderly conduct, a felony, after allegedly filing a false police report about an attack he said occurred as he walked to his apartment building in Streetville last month. If convicted, he could face probation to 3 years in prison. You actually think he's going to get the 3 years, though?
I doubt. Well, then again, he has
No.
filed false police reports before. I wouldn't say the full 3, maybe like 2 max.
What is fucking false contact?
Misconduct?
No, disorderly contact is what you said. Shit, I don't
No, I said disorderly conduct.
My question is, when was he being disorderly though? Like, I mean, it's probably true, but I just don't know like when that would be. Maybe while he was making
what
the
was the
police.
situation?
Well, I think they interpreted it loosely as disorderly conduct, as you're disturbing the police's time, and you're making a nuisance of yourself, and just being an asshole generally.
Makes sense.
Not necessarily being violent, but fucking around.
Yeah, you're dicking around with the police, and they don't take too kindly to that kind of nonsense.
To quote Wikipedia, police may use a disorderly conduct charge to keep the peace when people are behaving in a disruptive manner to themselves. So yeah, it's because he wasted police time.
He was disrupting police time.
And as well as the media causing a huge stink up.
Yeah. I mean, I think I heard reports of, like, the amount of resources that were diverted to solving this guy's case in the last 3 weeks has been immense. That's a fuck ton of man hours, all right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just one detective working on this case around the clock for the last 3 weeks. It's, like, several, because it's so high in publicity. And that means that a whole bunch of other cases aren't getting the manpower that they deserve, because all eyes are on solving this hate crime.
Yeah. And also I'd like to...
At all.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'd also like to point out they actually got a search warrant for these Nigerians, went to their house, searched the entire apartment, ransacked it basically, looking for evidence because they were sure these guys were the ones who perpetrated it, and then he says that he doesn't want to press charges. That's a big deal.
Asshole.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they went through all of this trouble to find out who did this. They find potential perpetrators, and he would have testified against 2 people randomly until he found out that it was the Nigerians. Then he changed his mind.
Yeah.
He didn't even know who they were initially.
He probably didn't want to press charges because of the police search through their house and him realizing that they're not the ones. Like they're not
falsifying a police report.
Yeah.
Well, also, one of the brothers was his personal trainer.
Yeah, so that would make it awkward when you show up to the gym the next morning, like, hey, sorry, I charged you and your brother with,
Yeah, I paid you to commit a crime against me, and then I charged you for it. I pressed charge.
That'd be
That would absolutely just piss them the fuck off, though. Because if he ended up pursuing charges, you know that they would have been like, let's talk, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, I'd already be pissed off if he got caught for filing this fake police report and I was paid to be involved.
And, like, having the police go through their house, too. Like, that's...
Exactly.
I mean, if it was like a Mandingo party gone wrong and he just like falsified a report on him, I'd be like, okay, that's a little bit differently. But nah, this motherfucker just made some shit up.
So Richard Art in the chat added me and said, do you imagine the amount of people who probably died because they waited police time? It depends. I'm not overly familiar with the way that Chicago police works, but I do know that different departments have their own investigative team, and that is removed from the actual patrol beat cops that answer on calls. Reason being is because a detective will devote more time to a single case every week or so, or day, or what have you, to kind of get it to that next level prosecutorial thing. The things that require a little bit more investigative work as opposed to just the simple show up, react to an emergency, give a person a ticket type of patrol stuff that we're familiar with. So when I say man hours, I mean detective man hours, not policing man hours. There's a little bit of a difference there. Yes, they are both part of the same department, but they have two slightly different responsibilities. One's a little bit more individual, the other is a little bit more all around. Does that make sense?
Yeah, one thing I'd point out is all detectives are cops, but not all cops are detectives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a distinction you have to make.
At the most, the responding officer stays on scene until somebody else shows up. Then once the detective downloads the info from him, he's cut loose and he goes back on.
Well, okay, pause. Because police officers can do some level of detective work as well, investigative in a sense, but it's very minute level, it's very minimal, it's the bare minimum. So what they do is they interview people on the scene. What they do is, in some cases, you will have, what's it called? A sex response police officer, so someone who's been trained in a certain way to deal with sexual trauma victims. And they will handle that investigation. That will be their duty. So different officers can receive special training depending on whatever area of police work it is that they want to do. So I hope that cleared stuff up.
And the cops that are doing like just the minute questioning and the minute investigation, they're still all working under the detectives. They still give all of their information to the detectives for the detectives to go deeper with.
A lot of that initial police work is just that. It's you go there, you see, and you say. Like, you tell the detectives what you saw at the scene in your police report.
Yeah. Okay,
and you protect the scene.
Moving on to the last article, which for whatever reason isn't displaying. Hopefully it'll get better. But this gives us insight into exactly why perhaps Smollett would have staged his hate crime hoax. And it reports that it was to advance his career. This was put up February 21st at 6:52 a.m. and it was updated 32 minutes ago, so we're getting some fresh hot takes here today. I am going to read this in its entirety because I haven't had a chance to actually go through most of it, especially since they just updated it 32 minutes ago, and we have been on air for longer than 32 minutes. So, actor Jussie Smollett paid two brothers. Yes, we're familiar with what happened. Smollett, who's black and openly gay. Yes, we already know that. Superintendent Eddie Johnson was visibly angered as he condemned his actions. Police did not spell out how the 36-year-old actor hoped to boost his salary by staging the supposed attack by supporters of President Donald Trump. Smollett took advantage of the... Hang on, did I miss something? No, I didn't miss anything. They just jump right into it. Okay. Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career, Johnson told a news conference, adding that the actor paid $3,500 to the brothers to stage the supposed hate crime. Bruh.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot
Trying
of money.
to raise your salary and paying that much just to have it fall flat.
Wow.
$3,500.
Right?
I wouldn't commit that shit.
Swinging a miss.
Well, not only did you lose that money, you were also possibly going to lose your job entirely and go on probation.
He's off Empire.
And you're gonna be disavowed from everywhere else. Nobody's gonna want to work with you.
And I'm pretty sure that since filing a false police report is a felony in Illinois, you could also like not vote.
It's bad juju.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it.
He probably won't go to jail. He'll probably just get probation. But
Yeah, but you've also been convicted for a felony, and that stuff stays with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gustavo Cortez, for the $5 over on Super Chat. 20 degrees of below zero at 2 a.m. is perfect for an attack. Yeah, I mean, the best time ever.
That's when I would do it.
Well, okay, see, the reason why, one, that's ridiculous, patently ridiculous, is because most violent crimes actually occur during the hot summer months as opposed to the cold winter months.
Yeah.
And that being because... Well, not because, but due to the fact that a lot of people get a little bit more angrier or easily angered when they're hotter than when they're cold. Cold makes you just kind of want to stay inside and not do anything, so crime dips.
Also, the sun.
The winter months.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun can, I guess the lighting, makes you just like pissed off. At least it does for me.
Basically.
Like, have you ever been sitting in a rainy or snowy day and you're just depressed, but then it's like a sunny day and you're like, ugh, get out of my eyes.
Okay, you're speaking from like a non-person perspective.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
Section 8 works like this. This is how Section 8 works, people. When it's cold and rainy, you smoke weed and play fucking NBA 2K, GTA, or some shit. When it's hot, you're outside playing basketball, selling drugs, and trying to get laid, and then you might shoot somebody.
I have better. When it's cold, you get seasonal affective disorder, makes you want to kill yourself. When it's hot, you get raging hate boners, and you want to kill other people. So the difference between seasons is who it is that we're killing.
I work retail. I just want to kill people all the time.
Oh boy. Anyway, so continuing on with the article, this stunt was orchestrated by Smollett because he was dissatisfied with this salary. He concocted a story about being attacked, Johnson said. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. Well, of course you did. He's the victim. That's the intention. Police did not say anything about the amount of Smollett's salary. If convicted, he could face a prison sentence for 1 to 3 years. A judge set bail at $100,000 and ordered Smollett to surrender his passport. The actor was in the process of being released after paying 10% of the amount on Thursday afternoon, which is typical with stuff like this.
Bail.
I believe it was a police chief who said that it doesn't reduce credibility because they're going to be investigating it like any hate crime. However, hate crimes in the future might be led with more skepticism before investigation, which is kind of sad. Because instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, as your initial response, you got to be like, yeah, let's check into it, which is a sad thing to have to do, especially when it involves real people.
It's also disrespectful to previous victims of hate crimes.
It is.
Exactly.
It really is.
Real victims.
Real victims,
basically
current
spitting
victims,
in their face.
people who are actually going through the legal system at this moment right now and having resources diverted from their own cases to this asshats. So I'm going to continue on with the article just because I do want to get to the discussion about hate crime hoaxes in the last half an hour, hopefully. And I will bring on Jay Willie and Zephyr Lotai, and then we will continue on with this article. Smollett had said two apparent Trump supporters struck him and put a noose around his neck while okay, we already know what happened. What about MAGA and the tens of millions of people who you insulted with your racist and dangerous comments? Hashtag MAGA. Trump wrote on Twitter on Thursday, and he added Smollett in that. The Smollett case has become a sensation in the United States as it tapped into an increasingly heated political divisions since the election of Trump in November 2016. Critics of Trump have said his rhetoric has fueled racism and violence, while the president's supporters say the press has been too quick to embrace any news that appear to cast Trump and his supporters in bad light. 20th Century Fox Television, which airs Empire, said in the statement on Thursday that it understands the seriousness of the matters and respects the legal process. We are evaluating the situation and we are considering our options. Which sounds a lot like this bitch gonna get fired the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're like we support like the legal processes when it's somebody that they're with, when that person is with them, and it's like considered a hate crime. I'm surprised that they're willing to go against that, or willing to. Well, you know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
Well, they kind of have to, because if they wouldn't, they would.
They would get shit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because this blew up.
And nobody would want to find them anymore. because if he was guilty and they protected someone and that didn't want to like investigate someone who might be guilty, right? Even if for some miracle we say he isn't, right? If they don't want to investigate it and it's going to turn out that he is guilty, most likely, then they have protected someone who was guilty and didn't even want to investigate it, then they're never going to be signed again. Probably something like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm surprised at how much like for the.
No, we got you.
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious he made it up. Like, you can't fucking defend somebody when they blatantly, like, clear as day, made some shit up.
I mean, when Sean King backtracks on his own defense of somebody, you know that they were lying.
Thank
you
you,
know
Sean
that.
King already
NitTev23
did
for
this
joining
last
us.
month.
You are on with us. I'm sorry.
Like last month, I remember. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If it's last month, I remember that Sean King he went on board this Jasmine girl who was killed, which was horrible. But like that it was horrible that she was killed. But she went on board it as being a hate crime, and then Sean King backtracked it when it came out that it wasn't. And now he wants on board this being a hate crime, and now it's going to come out that it wasn't. He literally cried wolf on behalf of other people twice this year already.
No, he's done it more than that.
Yeah, I think a little more than twice.
Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the article, and then we can get into our hate crime hoax discussion within the last half an hour. I'm almost done. I promise. We're almost done. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour and a half, this recap. Jesus fuck. Smollett wrote the brothers a $3,500 personal check and gave them $100 to buy the rope, ski masks, gloves, and red MAGA-style baseball caps that were used in the supposed attack, according to court papers. A spokesman for Smollett's lawyers, whoever the fuck they are, said on Thursday in an email, "Once we are ready to make a statement, we will do so." On Wednesday, the head said they were conducting a thorough investigation to form an aggressive defense. Johnson told reporters that Smollett had first tried to gain attention by sending himself a threatening letter filled with racial, homophobic, political language. When that didn't work, Smollett paid $3,500 to stage this attack and drag Chicago's reputation through the mud, the police chief said. On February 13th, police arrested two brothers, yes, we already know that. Near the end of the 48 hours in which police were allowed to detain potential suspects without charging them, the brothers decided to confess to the entirety of what the plot was, Johnson said. They became cooperating witnesses and were released 2 days later without charges. Since the alleged attack, Smollett has received support on social media, including from several celebrities and Democratic presidential candidates. Others were skeptical of the incident, which Smollett said occurred at, 2 in the morning. In an interview with Good Morning America, we already saw that. "My concern is that the hate crimes will now be publicly met with a level of skepticism," Johnson told reporters, adding that the city had bigger problems. "I just wish the families of gun violence in the cities got this much attention," the police chief said.
Oh,
and Bailick has just scared my other housemate.
Oh, okay. I was like, is somebody getting like brutally attacked?
No, I'm sorry.
It's the next
It's okay.
crime.
I
Yeah,
really
for
miss
him.
my old housemate.
Okay, there's one last thing. Not that one. Okay. That's one way to end an article. There was one last thing that I wanted to bring up, and it was some of the deleted tweets from certain members of the Twitter sphere. Just to kind of casually peruse through some of that nonsense, because that's some nonsense. The outpouring of support, here's some examples of that if you guys want to read through it. It's on the screen right now. And it's also linked in the thing, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's Bernie Sanders, Ernest Owens, Jason, what's-his-face, Cory Booker, of course. Shit like that. Anyway, so now I am going to... Oh, and that's the chat. Okay, so now we have an open discussion about all of the shenanigans, hate crime hoaxes in general, which, by the way, is the theme of my video getting released Friday at 8 in the morning. And we have a special sneak peek if you guys actually want to see a sneak preview of what is going to be in that video. It's kind of fun. I actually gave myself a concussion filming it. So now, half an hour left. Anyone got anything to say?
So...
Yes.
Oh, damn. I forgot. Somebody else go.
Sorry.
I got something to say.
It's okay.
You always have something to say, dude.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Jesus,
Yeah, but-
shade.
Okay,
the
so
video,
in terms...
I told you so.
So, hate crime hoaxes. This has been a theme that's been going on since President Trump was elected to office, and it's been an ongoing theme. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it as much as I have, but it's kind of like we've entered the twilight zone of people just staging all of these horrible things that happen to them, whether it be for attention, whether it be to build the narrative that these are things that are happening now that Trump is in office or what have you. What are the reasons for this that you guys can think of versus maybe the implications that result from having these be occurrences?
Well, it's happened longer than Trump being in office, because it's been happening a lot longer than that with just policing.
Well, but I mean, what I'm saying is, like, immediately after he was elected, especially November 2016, they ramped the fuck up.
What I would say is it's the relatability, because just about everybody despises hate crimes except for those who commit them, obviously, right?
Correct.
That is why it can be targeted by people who want to fake anything, you know? If I wanted to fake something, it's like, why would I fake a robbery, you know? Some people would even justify and be like, well, you know, you're a rich actor, you know, you can afford it, you're fine, right? People in different classes have less empathy for those who are rich, you know? However, just about everybody, white, black, you know, gay, straight, most of them despise hate crimes, so it's a more guttural response than any other crime to fake in order to get attention. That's my opinion.
It's like the people that will yell and call people pedophiles for no real reason.
Yeah, it gets a bigger response.
There's a very visceral reaction to that word.
Wow. I'm sorry, all of a sudden I had to clear my throat at that.
Also, it's easy. You can get easy money off of it. Start a GoFundMe through PayPal.
Yeah. Honestly, though, what it reminds me most of is those "and everybody clapped" stories.
What's that?
Those are so funny to read, though.
I know but it's like it's basically the same thing. It's
Yeah.
pick out some sort of derogatory thing that one human being could theoretically say to another human being, set it in a public setting, and then have like a 4-year-old come in, exit stage left after owning this person, and then everybody in the train station just stands up and claps. At least that's how I perceive it.
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody's got a cell phone by their mic.
My cell phone is my mic, so.
Same
It
here.
could be that or a USB
Zephyr.
bus noise.
It's not me that's doing it, though.
I hope it's not me.
It is.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Because my friend keep texting me and that is vibrating the table my mic stands on. But I moved the phone so that won't happen anymore.
That's what I thought it was, and I was like paying attention to see which one it is, because like, it's not something somebody does intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time it wasn't me. I actually have my stuff on push to talk.
But
I mean,
this entire story is completely bumming me out because you can see that there's like the like divide all demographics into two groups, and they say that one group is the like oppressor dynamic and the other group is like the oppressed dynamic. And whenever a hate crime fit their perception of who is the victim, if the right victim, then all of the left-wing mainstream media outlets jump at it. If it's the wrong kind of victim and the wrong kind of perpetrator, they never say a snippet of it.
It's called a false dichotomy.
That's a good. Oh, I didn't know.
You present someone with two choices, but the two choices don't cover everything and say pick between them.
Exactly. So therefore, it's like if a person, for example, when it comes to religion, when it comes to race, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to gender, when they usually view one as the underdog, and if the underdog, in their view, is being the victim of something, of what they call the oppressor, then they all talk about it. But if it's the wrong kind of, if it's who they perceive to be privileged, quote unquote, is being victimized by someone who they don't perceive to be privileged, then if that happens, right? then they never talk about it. They never talk about it.
One thing I'd like to point out is you guys remember Fire Festival? I mean, obviously all the movies. So people had zero empathy for those people who were ripped off in the Fire Festival because they were like apparently rich and white, you know? But if you find a very minority, a very minor minority, I guess, like this gay black actor, you can get a much bigger, more substantial response, you know? I think that the only reason Fire Festival got the publicity that it got was because it was just fascinating to look into, you know?
Yeah,
it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
how about we use a better example?
Like, I'm actually kind of with how popular it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Rainforest or whatever the fucking Tumblr convention.
Oh, DashCon.
DashCon doesn't get something because
How
those are
about
very similar.
The mentally challenged or mentally disabled, whichever you prefer, white kid that was kidnapped and fucking tortured for what was it, 3 days?
Yep. Yeah.
In Chicago? Fucking Pete.
Yeah, there was
They
an
didn't get
actual
charged
crime
with hate
committed
crimes.
there.
They
Yeah,
didn't get
and
charged
there
with
you
hate
go.
crimes. That's the bad.
That was an actual hate crime. Fuck white people, fuck Trump, all that shit. Like, that's a legitimate hate crime.
I mean, to me, hate crime.
Yeah, but it's not the
as
right
a
kind.
thing-
It's not the right. According to their worldview, it's not the right kind of victim and not the right kind of perpetrator. They never. So they
That's the
try
point.
to excuse. That's what I said before. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
I like your hat, Weebo.
Oh, thank you. I actually bought it specifically for this week's video.
My girlfriend wouldn't let me get one. Like,
Why? Does she think you're gonna get shot or gun
Yeah,
pulled on you
exactly.
or yelled at in the middle of a store at some point
Yeah.
for whatever reason?
So, what's
I've
funny
got a friend that lives in New York that bought one at Trump Tower, and he keeps it. I'm in North Carolina. He keeps it down here. He's like, I'm not fucking getting seen with that shit up there.
Well, I live in Texas, so it's like.
Yeah, it's a little different in New York.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Africa and Europe from time to time, so.
Oh,
really,
impressive.
what difference?
Brag about it, why don't you? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
I live in the southern
I
United
just want
States.
to everyone welcome to Eve. Thank you for joining us, Eve.
What up, bitches?
Not much. We're talking
Hi,
about the Jussie
Eve.
Smollett thing. We just did a full recap of all of the events from the beginning to now and current day reporting. So, do you have anything to add for us since you were our most recent guest?
Put on the spot.
You get 5 seconds.
You have 10 seconds to comply.
No, she's already wasted her 5 seconds. All right, moving on. I'm just kidding.
Bitch, just be
Wait,
quiet. That's all I can say.
I put you on the spot.
May I add something?
Yes, you may always add something.
Oh, thanks. It was in United Kingdom. It was an English guy or a native British guy who was being attacked by some migrants, and then he were set ablaze, and then he died. So he was tortured to death, and that was a hate crime too. But nobody cared to report on that because it wasn't the right kind of victim according to their worldview, and not the right kind of perpetrators. Had it been the other way around, we would know it. Now most people don't.
Yeah. Do you remember the YouTube shooting?
I do.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a female Muslim shooter, active shooter?
Yeah, and basically the story behind that was she was a stalker bitch. The dude she initially walked in to stalk had a girlfriend who happened to be there. I don't remember if she was shot.
Yeah, but what I'd like to point out is
and
I
she was a
remember
vegan.
I don't think
girlfriend's
her
vegan.
veganism
Wow, should I
has
watch?
10 degrees of oppressed.
But what I'd point out is it's kind of like that, where I heard somebody recently say, name one shooter who was a female. Like, this was an actual argument I got into. I was like, do you not know about the YouTube shooting? You know?
Well,
this
is a discussion I had on Modern Medusa's live show, the Macho Show. Like, most females who do shit like that are actually serial killers who end up killing either infants or the old.
I don't like that.
Yeah, don't ever look into it. They're mostly, a lot of them are either Latin American or they're Asian, and the Asian ones really like fucking killing.
But she was not she wasn't really Asian. She was basically Persian.
No, I'm not talking about that chick. I brought up something completely different.
I wish I could be like
Persian
I wish I could
African
be
or
as
Asian?
good.
Technically. What
I wish I
continent
could
is it?
be.
So
I wish I could be the same level of.
I have a question, actually, that kind of corresponds with what it is we've been talking about. With regards to hate crime hoaxes in general, do you think we'll see a steady decline in them occurring nowadays, now
No.
that this has been an issue?
Not at all.
They'll just make sure their stories are better.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of gotten away from that topic, but one thing I want to bring it back to is earlier I said it was disrespectful to all victims of hate crimes, and Weebo made it about current hate crimes. To me, I think of people like Emmett Till, where it was a clear, cut and dry case of racism, fucking hate crime to the core. It's disrespectful to that kid's memory that this rich, privileged motherfucker is out here making shit up to get more money trying to pull a fucking Colin Kaepernick.
Oh no, not that. I got an argument about Kaepernick in school. That was hilarious.
Who is Kaepernick?
He's the football player that.
Dude, you don't know.
He forgot to
stand
stand up for the pledge once and got called out on it, and so he decided to start a political movement.
Stand up.
Here's the fucking sit rep with Colin Kaepernick. He is a snobby, shitty fucking quarterback who should never have been in that position. His career took a nosedive. He got benched. In efforts to stay relevant, he protested the national anthem because of police brutality and all that bullshit. He was adopted by rich white people in Wisconsin who raised him. He's only half black and recently settled for $70 million.
The cheese state of all states, yes, you're most oppressed there in the cheese state of all states. Sorry, but no.
The funniest thing about the Kaepernick story is when he was in his political phase, just talking political shit while playing football, he praised Fidel Castro. Well, that week they played against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Miami linebacker Kiko Alonso basically put this motherfucker out of the game with an injury, and the entire crowd was on their feet clapping as this motherfucker was carried off the field.
Well, it makes sense.
Oh god, what a
history.
fucking pussy he is. This is the reason why I only watch women football nowadays. They ain't pussy today.
So congratulations, you played yourself, son.
You did. You honestly did. Do we have any questions from the chat with regards to this? Any things you guys want to ask the panel? Any issues, conundrums, thoughts, comments, concerns, what have you? Put them in the chat. I will start reading some things off, and the rest of the panel and I will converse. Is this too many people? I'm wondering. Because not that I don't like any of you, it's just that's a lot.
It's a little crowded in here.
It is a little crowded.
It's a little bit too much where too many people are trying to talk over each other right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say to the comment about they'll get better at their stories, and I was like, yeah, maybe they'll learn not to pay their attackers by check.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or at least more than $3,500. I hope he paid $3,500, got his fake hate crime, and at least got fucked out of it because, well, he's getting legally fucked now.
I see. Someone wants me to talk about Captain Marvel. I will address Captain Marvel, the movie, on the second channel, which is completely dedicated to reviewing media. This one is for social political commentary. The other one, Weebo Incognito, is for not that. So,
I didn't realize you had a second channel.
I have a second channel. It is linked down in the description where you can find all of my social media links and discussion things and merch stuff and anything that you would like to support me with. That's also down there. So, shameless shill.
Also, check out Two Girls One Stream on Some of American's channel every Sunday. And
Two girls, one stream.
Two girls, one stream with me and SDA, Some Dumb American. We talk about all of the things. Thank you, Robert Smith, for the $4.99 over on Super Chats. Wondering why he's not being charged with a hate crime. Singling out white people to me is a hate crime. It usually probably could be, but no one ever acknowledges it as such.
My
for
privilege.
The only time I've ever seen a white person's who was attacked, that their attacker was charged with a hate crime, was when it was that mentally disabled kid that the black guys beat up, and that's only because he was mentally disabled. Had he just been a regular kid, they would have never charged him with a hate crime.
The one in Chicago, they weren't charged for a hate.
It wasn't a hate crime?
No, the
No,
courts
because
never
in
charged him with the
America-
hate crime.
As far as I remember.
In America, if you are in the white category, then you cannot be classified. Then it's not a hate crime. So if you commit a hate crime as someone who is like Persian or Irish or Italian, it's not hate crime. But if someone is like black
I
or
hate
Chinese or
I
whatever, then
hate
it's
to
a hate
break it.
crime. Even though because if you're in the white category, you don't have the same rights.
I'm not sure if that's like by
Persians don't
definition.
exist.
That's true.
Like what used to be Persia is considered modern day Iraq, so there would be Iraqi.
No, I thought about the ethnicity person, which means
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, but I said that they can't be victims of hate crime in America because racial groups that are categorized as white cannot be victims of hate crime in the United States by law.
Persians are
I
Middle
hate
Eastern.
I hate to interject, but Weebo, do you have any more questions from?
Yeah, the guests on this show are not smart enough to dissect this issue. Mr. Frankman, that's rude. If you would like to come on and join us in the discussion, the Discord link is in the description, and you can certainly school these ignorant, undissecting, silly people. Sorry, guys.
Let me guess. The section basically consists of he black, we white, we was real Kangs, we're being oppressed now.
How smart do you actually have to be to dissect this issue? It seems like one of the simplest things
It's
to
very
discuss.
it's very plain and
This is
it's very cut
easier
and dry
than
at this.
economics, certainly.
Yeah, economics is tough.
I was gonna say I just got here. Don't judge me.
Yeah, you barely said anything.
I'm
Steve
actually
is the least smartest person to dissect this issue.
I'm like look at my profile picture. I'm basically like retarded. I spend most of my time on 4chan. I'm as dumb as they come. As you probably.
Don't make me whip out my oppression waving in your face. So.
Oh, motherfucker, I can beat yours.
Okay, so
Kinky.
size comparisons aside.
Shake your dicks. This pissing contest's over.
You know what? No one could ever beat my dick size.
This is true.
We could.
For all the newbies in the chat, that was a reference that you'll have to come to learn and love. Anyway, so any more comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, issues, fights that you would like to pick with my panel, feel free.
I mean, if you've ever seen the fucking for all your petty shit thread in this channel, I love a good dust up.
Oh, the For All Your Petty Shit channel is
That's
one of my
right.
favorites.
It's like, I guess it may be the half Irish part, but I love it.
MGTOW Michigander, thank you for the $4.99 over on the Super Chats. How much time do you think this goddamn narcissist should serve? Honestly, the full extent that he would have if he had pursued charges against his hate crime committers against him.
I have an actual question about
Yeah.
with it being only 3 years. Obviously, of him being a quote unquote celebrity, he's gonna get put in PC. But do you think they would actually send him to prison, or would he just stay in the jail for the 3 years since it's a short?
Probably just jail.
He has. Unless he has priors, there's no way he's getting sent to jail.
Well, he does have a prior of filing a false police report, or at least I believe so. I think somebody
he's gonna get the
mentioned
shit thrown at him then.
Yeah, I believe somebody said somebody with the same name and same birthday was charged around 2007 with a very similar case, but on a much smaller scale.
For an identical case, he's fucked.
Well, then again, I would like to point out it depends on the prosecution, because some prosecutors won't even like bring up prior cases, but others will be like, well, given the fact that this person was arrested this date for this same crime, it is shown that he has either an intent or a capability without remorse to continue this. Yeah.
I mean, with it being.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, since he is pretty much open and shut, like for financial gain and more popularity or whatever, like at that point, it's kind of with malicious.
I mean, you gotta figure in that case, though. I mean, it really does depend on the prosecutor, but that's wire fraud. That's
the wire fraud is what's wire fraud?
I thought that was when you took money, like either digitally or through banks.
Anytime you
Wire
commit,
fraud happens. I think
when you commit a crime, and money is exchanged, I guess.
not necessarily just when money's
wasn't.
exchanged. It has to be a very particular instance of the money is passing hands from electronically.
From bank to bank.
Yeah.
Well, electronic telecommunications, or whatever.
He certainly committed, and here's one thing that we didn't talk about: the fact that technically he committed a federal offense that the FBI will be pursuing, definitely, most likely, because of the fact that when you send a threat through the mail,
that's not just the FBI. That's the United States Post Inspector Service.
Yes, actually, it is.
Those guys go hard.
The United States Postal Service, they take that shit very seriously. They have their own branch of investigation.
They work
as well.
with the FBI, but
no, dude, the FBI works for them.
I was debating whether I should say that or not. But yeah, no, the FBI works.
I mean, because you have to think of the Postal Service works hand in hand with Homeland Security.
Well, the Postal Service, I've actually met some of their members of their specific, like, unit that takes care of crimes within the Postal Service. And, like, they don't mess around. They take that shit very seriously. Thank you, Gustavo Cortez, for the $5 over on the Super Chats. Your panel is full of liberals enough with hate crime made up BS crime. Honestly, yeah, when not that you guys are all liberals, because I'm pretty sure we have a diverse range here, but
I'm anti-politics.
We're only calling it hate crime because that is the not correct term. I mean,
Technical
I don't
term.
agree with the idea of actually having hate crimes on the books, but they are on the books. That was what they were investigating. So we're being as accurate with the story as we could possibly be. So if that makes people liberal being accurate with the case, then I don't know what to tell you, man.
What I would point out is it's kind of like use of force. If you say they used use of force, not liberally, in a legal sense, you're not agreeing or disagreeing with the use of force. You're going with what the books say.
I mean, and what would be the entire point of talking about something and making up your own term for it just because you're like, oh, that's a liberal term, hate crime? That would confuse people who are just jumping in, who are not hip to the entire.
I dislike the concept of like hate speech or hate crimes. I feel like there should just be crimes. However, if it's on the books, I will refer to it as it is stated.
Personally, I don't really have a problem with hate crime laws. I used to have a problem with hate crimes laws that only applies to a subsection of the population and can't be applied to everyone in the population, because that is wrong, no matter what the reasoning is.
Wouldn't any crime that affects another person, by definition, be done from a place of hate or a place of malice?
It would be. Now I will say this: there are certain crimes that we do
apply to
tack
everybody,
on.
they apply to no one.
So I will mention this. There are certain crimes with the United States that we do tack on certain aggravating circumstances with. None of them necessarily, except for with the exception of murder 1, murder 2, and manslaughter, have to do with motive of the crime. And that's only because they have to do, well, they take motive into account when they account for whether or not you premeditated it, whether or not you planned it ahead of time. And that is to kind of deter those things from happening. So I can see the argument for why we would have hate crimes, but I fundamentally disagree with the idea of having hate crimes on the books on principle, because 1, they're not applied across the board. 2, they are they are pretty ridiculous, as opposed to why you would try for an aggravated crime.
I would have to agree with you there.
Yeah, just call crime,
me too.
crime.
But the point I was making, that was that if hate crime would be that you are committing a crime towards an individual based on one of their immutable characteristics, right? Then that should be that shouldn't discriminate on the characteristics. Like, it shouldn't take. That should apply. That can apply to any demographic group. It shouldn't just be applied to certain demographic groups, as it is today in the United States, for horrible reasons.
But one case I would like to point out.
That is the main problem I have with it.
One thing that I'd like to point out is the loose definition of what a hate crime is or what hate speech is. For example, if I, in the heat of the moment, in like killing somebody, said, an offensive slur, just because like I was angry, right? Should that tack on an extra sentence, even though I didn't do it out of discriminatory reasons?
That's the
wouldn't
thing.
say so.
That the thing about hate crime, when it comes to the hate crime charge, is it's trying to determine the person's intent.
Exactly.
And a person could actually hate someone because they're black, attack them because they're black, but as long as he doesn't audibly say that that's the reason that he did it, if he makes up some other bullshit reason, or they come to a conclusion that he was attacked for a different reason, there's no hate crime charge there, but it was actually by definition a hate crime because he attacked him because he was black.
There's a lot of hate crimes that aren't labeled as hate crimes. Like, it happens all the time in prison. I mean, it may be outdated statistic at this point, but a couple years ago, the Aryan Brotherhood made up less than 0.1% of the population and committed 30% of the murders, and most of those murders were against black people simply because they were fucking black. They didn't give a shit about what they were in there for. They did because they were black, and it was just a murder charge. It was never a hate
30%
crime.
of prison murder.
Yes.
I see, sorry.
Frank Man in the chat, hate crime laws apply to everyone in the country. What are these people smoking? Now, when we say that they don't apply, we are meaning that they aren't being applied to everyone equally.
They aren't being enforced equal.
They are not being enforced on an equal basis across all hate crimes that occur. Not that they don't apply, it's just that they're not being applied. Just to clarify.
Yeah, it's like up until a couple years ago with the Antifa shit, the KKK laws about you cannot be in public protesting while wearing hoods or masks or anything that covers your face. They're like, oh, that's just because these people are right-wing and all that shit. Well, when Antifa was in Alabama, the University of Auburn invoked the KKK laws to make Antifa unmasked. So that one kind of corrected itself, but hate crime laws are, for the most part, used like, oh, it's a white person did this to a black.
The issue with trying to diagnose isn't the right word, but diagnose a crime as a hate crime and trying to find motive and stuff like that is that you can't look into somebody's brain and see what they were thinking unless they tell you, and even then they could be lying about it or making something up. And when you do use something that they do say or that they don't say as motive, then it almost falls into the category of the 1984 book, I think, where
1884 or
1984.
1984, where thought crime is basically just thinking of something wrong and then you're punished. So it's like it's a fine line that it has to walk, and it's hard to stay on that.
I would just.
So we're on the last 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
So now is your time to shill, panel. If you have anything that you would like to shill to the audience, definitely go ahead.
Subscribe to PewDiePie.
Don't
subscribe to PewDiePie.
I just want to say thanks for having me. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed me being on here. I hope I didn't, stank up the.
You did.
No, you're fine. Although I think next time around, I think I'm gonna get a few less people at a time in. So definitely check back in the Discord for the next time that I announce we're gonna have a live stream, and we're gonna have a discussion so that I can kind of get a count of who exactly wants in on the discussion and who maybe can't. Just not that I'm trying to be discriminative, but I like talking with all of you, but all of you at the same time is a little much.
It's hard because everyone wants to talk at once, and we talk over each other. So
I like having the discussion. We need to like figure out a better way. So like I said, we're still getting used to this whole streaming thing. It's fine. We is in the royal we. Anyway, so anyone else got any more shilling to do?
I do. This is same typical one that I have been putting out recently. I'm just gonna throw it into the side chat and into your shilling channel on Discord. So if anybody wants to go ahead and check it out, it might not do too much for you because I'm still fairly certain that I've been shadow banned on YouTube.
All right, well,
everybody
you heard
follow.
Everybody. Click that bell.
Everybody follow Weebs.
Yes, and Weebo as well. By the way,
definitely
thank you so much for
subscribe to my
having me
second
on.
channel, por favor. And with that, I am going to mute all of you. Oh, sorry, Eve, you wanted to shield the minions, didn't you?
Yes, I was going to shield minions at the zoo. I will actually be hosting tonight, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. on the Minions of the Zoo channel. So
all right,
I
and you heard
don't
it
have
here,
chat up to
folks.
put a link in, but
so now with that, I am muting you guys from the desktop, so please don't. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the Discord. I'll be back in a hot second. But so with that, the last thing that I wanted to do was give you guys a sneak preview of tomorrow morning's video that I'm posting. It's going live at 8 a.m. So I'll be there, be square. You don't have to actually watch the premiere. It's fine. We're not going to do a premiere. But I'm going to post a sneak preview. Hopefully that gets you a little bit excited for what's to come. I'm particularly proud of this video because I gave myself a concussion filming it. And with that, here's the sneak preview.